Okay, let's start with the discussion on the structure of nephron. So let me write here, this is the structure of nephron. So what is nephron? The excretory unit of the kidney. Each kidney made up of millions of these type of structures. Now, if you look at this particular area, there are two set of blood vessels. One is afferent arteriole. What is arteriole? A small branch of artery is termed as arteriole. Afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Now if you look at this one, this blood vessel here is wider one and here it is very narrow. Even in the bracket itself it is written, right? Afferent arteriole is wide and efferent arteriole is narrow. Suppose you imagine that, just imagination, right? There is no such number. There is 100 ml of blood which is coming through this wide vessel. If you look at this area, the space is very less. The same amount of blood has to travel through this wide vessel also, this narrow vessel also. Now when this blood tried to travel through this narrow vessel, it creates a pressure, right? Because the thing which is coming through a wider space has to escape through a narrow space. This creates a pressure. This pressure is actually the force which helps in the process of formation of urine. This much you have to remember at this point. What is there? Afferent arteriole is a wide vessel, efferent arteriole is a narrow vessel. Same amount of the blood which comes through this wide tube has to pass through this narrow tube. In that situation, when the blood tries to travel through a narrow space, it creates a pressure. This pressure is the initial force which helps in the formation of urine. We'll come back to this position or this point again, will come back. Now this entire structure nephron from here till here is divided into two. So let me make an imaginary cut so that you will understand. We are not talking about the blood vessel. Remember this thing, when we divide it this way, we are not talking much about the blood vessel remaining thing. Now this is the division. When you draw the diagram, don't make this division. This is only for you to understand. This area is termed as Malpighian body. This area is termed as Malpighian body, and the part which comes after this is termed as renal tubule. So what are they? One is Malpighian body and one is renal tubule. Now what this Malpighian body is made up of? If you are avoiding these two things, because I told we are not talking about these main blood vessels, right? This is made up of a structure called Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. So what this Malpighian body is made up of? Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. Let's see what is this Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is actually this cup. This cup-shaped portion is termed as Bowman's capsule. Now this cup is having so much small holes are there. There are so many small holes which are present there like this. Right? There are so many holes. So Bowman's capsule is a cup-shaped structure or a C-shaped structure. Now what about this glomerulus? This glomerulus is actually small capillaries which are present here. So for you to understand, just listen here once, I will tell you. Now when this afferent arteriole enters here, it breaks down into set of small capillaries. These small capillaries are termed as glomerulus. Then it rejoin and form the efferent arteriole. Now understand here what happened till now. The afferent arteriole, which are wide, enter into Bowman's capsule, this cup-shaped structure. This Bowman's capsule, within that, this afferent arteriole divide into set of small branches. We call it as glomerulus. Then what happened? These small capillaries, they rejoin to form the efferent arteriole. That is the reason why these are having different space in it. One is wide and one is narrow. So what this Malpighian body is made up of? This Malpighian body is made up of two parts. Which are they? So this is the Malpighian body. Malpighian body made up of this part. What is this part? Glomerulus. How the glomerulus is formed? By the formation of capillaries from the afferent arteriole. Right? It enters into Bowman capsule. It branches into set of small capillaries. We call it as glomerulus. Now, where is glomerulus present? Within this Bowman's capsule. So, Malpighian body is made up of two parts, which are there. One, Bowman's capsule, and two, glomerulus. So, understand, within the Bowman's capsule, actually the glomerulus is enclosed. Now, this portion is structure just we have seen. We will see the function. Now, we'll come back to this next side. So, next side, when you are talking about, we have different area, right? This part is number 1, this part is number 2, and this one is number 3. And we have remaining portion also, right? That is common. So, how many parts were there in Malpighian body? There were number 1, Bowman's capsule, number 2, glomerulus. And what about renal tubule? Renal tubule has 3 portions. Which are they? Here is the number 1 portion, here is number 2, and here will be the number 3. Let's see what are the name given to all these structures. So this number 1 area, this first tube-like structure, this much area is termed as proximal convoluted tubule. Now we will see this into individual. There are 3 terms, right? Proximal, convoluted, and tubule. We know that tube, right? This type of structures are termed as tube. Proximal meaning is that something which is coming first. So proximal means first, tubule means tube. Convolution meaning here is that this tube is actually not a continuous structure, but instead it is a wave-like structure. Right? If you look at this area, only this structure, if you see from here, it is like a wave shape, right? So we call it as convolution. So what is proximal convoluted tubule? This is the first tubular part of the nephron. This much is the proximal convoluted tubule. In short form, we call it as PCT. So the first tube-like wavy structure, this one is termed as PCT. Now, followed by PCT or proximal convoluted tubule, you can see a long U-shaped structure. This U-shaped structure is termed as loop of Henle. This name is after this biologist, right? This is a loop, a pin-shaped structure or a U-shaped structure. We call it as loop of Henle. Now, followed by this loop of Henle, there is another structure, distal convoluted tubule. This convoluted tubule we know, right? There is a tube which is wavy shape, right? Now distal meaning is that other than the first or the one which comes later, we call it as distal. So many a time there can be a confusion which one is coming first, whether it is proximal or whether it is distal. Proximal convoluted tubule is the first area. Distal convoluted tubule is the later one. Now, the last structure is termed as collecting duct. Collecting duct is actually not a part of a single nephron. Why? You can see one branch here, another branch here. So, what happens? One nephron will be attached here, another nephron will be attached here. That means these collecting duct will collect whatever is filtered or formed by each nephron, and from simple way you can understand, collecting duct is not only connected to the single nephron, it is connected to many other nephron. All these nephrons collect their secretion together into this collecting duct. So let's conclude the structure, then we'll come to the functioning of all these structure. So this entire nephron is divided into two main portions. Which are they? The first one is Malpighian body. What the Malpighian body is made up of? Malpighian body is made up of Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. That means this much. This is the Bowman's capsule, the C-shaped structure. Glomerulus is the small set of capillaries, right? These two together form this Malpighian body. What the renal tubule is made up of? Renal tubule is made up of, the first one is proximal convoluted tubule, the second one is loop of Henle, and the third one is distal convoluted tubule. Is it clear now what these structures are made up of? Then once we will see the points related to this one, then we'll come back to this structure, right? Now, nephron is the basic unit of kidney. These are the structural and functional unit of kidney, we know that, right? Why? Because each kidney is made up of many nephrons. Each kidney has millions of nephrons and it forms the basic structural and functional unit of the kidney. Each nephron has two parts, which are the Malpighian body and renal tubule. This we have already seen, right? Malpighian body is made up of cup-like structure called Bowman's capsule, which encloses a bunch of capillaries called glomerulus. They together filter the waste material along with the useful substances. Now I will tell you how this filtration takes place. What about the renal tubule? This has regions like a proximal convoluted tubule such as PCT, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubules. Now these regions, what is the function and all we will tell. Just I will tell you, then we'll go to that, right? These regions absorb back useful substances into the blood and also filter the remaining waste substances. The output from nephron is called as urine. So let's see what all things can be there as a process. Let me clean this area. So the process of urine formation has different steps. The process of urine formation comes under three main headings. So we'll see one by one what it is, right? So just let me conclude how the process takes place. Suppose you understand that there is blood which is coming along with the waste material, that is especially the nitrogenous waste material. Now the blood enters here. There are small set of blood vessels are here. What is this blood vessel termed as? Glomerulus. Now from that there is a new vessel which is joined and formed. We call it as efferent arteriole. What is the difference here? This is wide and this one is narrow. Now whenever the blood, suppose there are 100 ml blood, when this 100 ml blood comes which flows through this smaller capillary, later it wants to travel through this narrow one. When same amount of blood which comes from a wider one try to escape through a narrow vessel, what happens? It creates a pressure. This pressure is happening on the wall of this Bowman's capsule. As a result, from this blood, some material is pushed into this Bowman's capsule. Some materials are actually pushed into this Bowman's capsule. This process is termed as ultrafiltration. So the first step of urine formation is ultrafiltration. What is the meaning of this ultrafiltration? Ultrafiltration means there are small holes which are present on the wall of this capsule. There are very minute holes these are. Through that, very small minute substances are also filtered. Now you have to remember, it is not that always only waste will be filtered. There can be some useful materials also. So till now what happened? Blood is coming here. Due to the pressure in the glomerulus, something is filtered here, right? These dot structures are actually the structures, things which are formed here. We call these things now as ultrafiltrate. Why do we call it as ultrafiltrate? We cannot call it as urine. Why? Urine should contain only useless material. There can be some useful material also here. So this ultrafiltrate now pass through proximal convoluted tubule, followed by loop of Henle, then distal convoluted tubule. Later when it reaches to the collecting duct, we call it as urine. So when it come to this structure, we call it as urine, which means from here till here, two more things will happen. Let's write what are all those things. Second thing which happens is actually reabsorption. So what happens in reabsorption is that During reabsorption, I told you there are some useful materials are also formed along with this ultrafiltrate. Now these useful material we don't want to, sometimes some protein will be there, glucose will be there. So all these things from this ultrafiltrate while traveling through this one is taken back by the blood. So what is actually reabsorption? From this ultrafiltrate which is moving through this loop of Henle or this PCT, DCT and all, useful materials are absorbed back into the blood. So we say that this happens for useful substances, reabsorption. Now one more thing you have to understand. Just imagine there were 100 ml of blood. In this 100 ml of blood there was 50 gram waste which was present. Only when ultrafiltrate was formed, there was 40 grams of waste which was filtered out. Now what happened? This blood still has 10 gram of waste. Are you understanding? Just an imaginary number, right? When 100 ml of blood was flowing, it tried to move through this narrow vessel. Due to that pressure, it filtered. This 100 ml blood contained 50 gram of waste. Just imagine that. When this filtrate is formed, only 40 gram got filtered. Remaining has escaped along with this blood. It has escaped. This waste also need to be removed, right? Now, the same time when reabsorption takes place, what happens? From this blood, you can see this blood vessel is only actually branch out, right? This blood vessel only actually coming and forming this branch here. These are actually the same blood vessel which is escaping from here, right? Now, these blood vessels, one thing happens, that is actually like this. You understand this two situation? In the first situation I made, from the nephron to the blood vessel, that means blood is taking the useful material from the ultrafiltrate. In next situation, that means in the third situation what will be there? There is a process called secretion. In secretion what happens? From the blood, those waste which could not be filtered, like this 10 gram waste were left, right? Those things are thrown into this ultrafiltrate will be there. So till now what happened? All useful materials are reabsorbed, or useless material which are left is actually secreted out when it reaches here, and now we call this as urine. Now this structure is termed as, or this whatever is formed is termed as urine. Now you have to remember one thing, this capillary network. What are these capillary network? These capillary networks are those blood vessels which surrounds this nephron. For us to understand once again, or for a revision, this you may feel it little complicated, but it is not that difficult also once you understand this process, right? Just you will see the mechanism of formation of urine. Now, whenever the blood comes through a wider vessel, it creates a pressure in the glomerulus. Why? Because the vessel which arises from the glomerulus is actually a narrow one. To escape through this narrow space, there will be a pressure created. That pressure makes a filtrate. We cannot call this filtrate as urine. Instead, we call this as ultrafiltrate. What is ultrafiltrate? It's not urine. Why? Because it contains useful material also, right? Useful as well as useless material also. We can call only urine when it is containing useless material. So this process of filtration is termed as ultrafiltration. Where the ultrafiltration takes place? In the Bowman's capsule along with the glomerulus. Now, this filtration is not 100%. Suppose hypothetically if we are taking 50 grams of waste, maybe 40 gram will be filtered. The 10 gram may be not filtered, and this will be there in the blood. This is also poisonous. This need to be removed. Now this ultrafiltrate, when travel through this entire structure like PCT, loop of Henle and DCT, two more processes will happen. One is reabsorption. All those useful materials are taken by the blood, and those leftover waste materials are thrown back into the ultrafiltrate by the blood. One, blood is taking the useful material through reabsorption. Then through the secretion, the useless material is actually thrown into this ultrafiltrate, and when it crosses this distal convoluted tubule, this fluid is termed as urine. Now this is no more ultrafiltrate. Why? All the useful materials are actually reabsorbed. For you to understand this way, if you write the heading and if you explain, it will be easy. So how the urine is formed? By three processes: ultrafiltration, reabsorption and secretion. Ultrafiltration takes place in Bowman's capsule as well as glomerulus. Reabsorption and secretion will take place in this entire renal tubule. This entire area, this will takes place, and there is a capillary network all over this nephron, especially in this loop of Henle region and all. Mainly the nephron is divided into two regions, which are the Malpighian body and the renal tubule. Now this diagram you can see, just where is that? Okay, this diagram if you look at, right, where is now urine formed? The urine is formed, where is another? Okay, this diagram will be easy. Let us come back from this last diagram to the first diagram, so it will be easy for you to conclude, right? Now we know that the urine is formed when it travels this entire area, and in this collecting duct every nephron pour its urine. Now in the collecting duct urine is there, right? Now all such nephrons are there, they all are pouring this one into this renal pelvis. From the renal pelvis what will be there? This will be collected by the ureter, then it is stored in the urinary bladder, then through the urethra it will be thrown out in the form of urine, right? Is it clear now? What is the connection between these three structures? This is also present here, right? This is actually the same structure. This is the overall little detail, and this is the depth explanation. Hope this one is clear. Please thoroughly understand the structure of this nephron. If you have not understood, try to watch the video repeatedly, then only it will be clear. Even this is the structure which is tough among the all other diagram given in this particular chapter. We'll see in the next video. Thank you for watching. Share with your friends.